Hello and a warm welcome to another exciting edition of Simply Electric, this time coming to you from the wonderful city of Brussels. We're right here at the auto show in bustling Brussels, absolutely thrilled to guide you through a fascinating tour of the event, because I've heard there are many exciting and innovative new electric cars and concept vehicles showcased here. And that is, in a manner of speaking, also the grand season opener for essentially all car manufacturers in the year 2025. I'd say let's not waste any time. Check if you're already part of the Simple Electric community. If not, we'd be delighted if you supported us with your subscription. Now let's head into the car salon in Brussels for the motor show. A highlight awaits us right at the entrance, so to speak, and that is the new Mercedes G-Class, specifically as the EQ 580. Fully electric, and I'm curious to see if we'll have the chance to catch it on camera in 2025. Because I can imagine that there might be some who might switch from the combustion engine G-Class, usually the AMG, to the fully electric one. Could take time because most G-Class drivers tend to drive locally. They don't do long distances, it's way too uncomfortable. And of course, purely electric, I think, is absolutely in vogue at the moment. A special concept car awaits us here with the A390. From Alpine, it's sort of a four-seater, but also a bit focused on speed, on sportiness, equipped with racing seats. It's reportedly set to debut as a near-production vehicle later. Naturally, it looks absolutely futuristic. Stefan films a bit around and searches a bit around. So this is how Alpine imagines the interiors of the future, potentially featuring 4 racing-style seats, where you can swiftly and easily and naturally, in an entirely electric manner, travel from point A to point B effortlessly. Yes, I also find that the rear end is drawn in a very, very futuristic way. It looks incredibly strong, and having a touch of concept car elements is certainly something we can find useful and exciting in our everyday lives as well. In addition to that, Alpine is showcasing the A290 here, which we earlier presented to you at Auto Zurich in its various impressive versions and colors. And I believe Alpine is such a wonderfully fresh brand that adds a touch of sportiness and enhanced performance to the electric vehicle market. Of course, who also can't be missed in Brussels is our motorization for the motor show, namely Kia. We took a journey with the brand new EV6 facelift, traveling all the way from Neustrelitz to Brussels. That's followed by a review, then a consumption path, and of course the road trip here to the Brussels Auto Show. You're definitely super excited about it. EV9 can't be missing, EV3 can't be missing. And also in the year 2025, there will be a lot of exciting new news around Kia, so make sure to double check if you're subscribed to Einfach, elektrisch to ensure you won't miss any of the new Kias. When it comes to doing retro really well, Renault is the top player in my eyes right now. We've already shown you the R5, so feel free to check out the review with the driving report. At the Brussels Auto Show, they showcased the R17 as a concept car, and I find it to be quite incredibly impressive with its design execution. So, from the past, so to speak, stepping into the future, and I truly believe Renault could achieve significant success with that concept. Such a sleek, sporty coupe, that's definitely something we're missing. If Stefan films a little bit of the interior, then we can see, in my opinion, very, very well, how a cockpit of the future might look with a lot of simplicity. A hint of wool as fabric can look quite fascinating. And particularly the rear end design is, in my opinion, an absolute masterpiece. Simply elegant with a seamless LED light strip that maintains a timeless classic appeal. And I'm really hopeful that the R17 will eventually find its way onto the streets. At the auto show taking place here in the vibrant city of Brussels, the new Renault Twingo is also making an appearance. It's going to hit the market in 2026 as a purely electric vehicle. The starting price is expected to be under 20,000 euros, and naturally it brings back strong memories of that nostalgic time from my youth. I grew up with the Renault Twingo, which really became an important part of my formative years and my youth, and it has increased a bit in size. So it is now 3.75 meters long instead of 3.61 meters. It will only be available as a 4-door, not as a 2-door anymore, just like it appeared as its predecessor of the time. And I believe it's just an absolutely fantastic retro design that Renault has once again succeeded in effectively bringing and transforming into the present day. That is exactly what we are truly after. Electric mobility that's enticing in terms of price, highly practical for everyday usage, and paired with a truly stylish and attractive look. I'm also particularly fascinated by the interior. Renault has really delivered here with the Twingo. the modern touch here. So we have Google Automotive as the operating system again. We know this from other Renault derivatives, where we also have the Google Play Store, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, just as we are used to, on 2 displays. A spacious bike display with all the essential information you need and a visually appealing infotainment display. And also a nice material. Up here, it's a plastic material that truly looks like crystal glass. Then the exterior color here is nicely done again, this metallic green. Here with a small shelf where you can place a few things. Nice climate menu. I have to say, really, really chic. Renault has also used a lot of recycled materials here, especially the floor. It's like how PET bottles are recycled. That's what it looks like. We're familiar with that from Volvo. We've shown you before, it's like a rubber, nice and soft. And also when you look into the door panel here, it has very, very nicely integrated fabric elements with the exterior color again. The window control switches, door handle, and the seats themselves have been crafted in a very cool and stylish manner. And the highlight, as I see it, is also this really gigantic glass roof. I hope that Renault will take the concept car, where about 80% of the exterior and interior are supposed to flow into the series, and then somehow make a retractable sunshade or something. Even through the camera, Stefan, you can tell.
Like the nerves sink in.
In my opinion, it's indeed an exceptionally clever idea. Can you perhaps still vividly remember the Renault 4 from earlier times? Here we truly have a modern interpretation cleverly crafted for today's world and for the contemporary era, the R4 E-Tech electric. It's straightforward and simply crafted, yet once again I see it beautifully carried from the past into our present era, effectively paving a meaningful path to the future. Even though there's a simple mix of materials here, Renault manages, in my opinion, to convey it very, very valuably, because in the end it's about offering it at an attractive price. So you might later have the wonderful opportunity to proudly call a Renault R4 your very own vehicle. Then 4 people can easily and comfortably enjoy plenty of space to travel in it. And I also find that the rear section of the R4 is exceptionally well executed, capturing a design that naturally harks back a little bit to its nostalgic past. Let's take a look and see if we can open the trunk here. It's even possible to do it electrically. You see this here. And then we actually have a nice big trunk. I'd estimate it's probably around 350 to 390 liters, just a rough guess, to adequately accommodate and properly store the luggage in that space. And I think, Stefan, what opens electrically
Closes electrically probably is not.
Of course, we'll try that as well. So you see, the new R4 is significantly more modern and forward-looking than its predecessor. Welcome to the interior of the Renault R4, and here as well, you'll find the operating system that we are already familiar with from the R5, which is Google Automotive. It's beautifully and seamlessly integrated into the infotainment system here, providing a user-friendly experience. This is an impressive modern feature that stands out. We have a fantastic dashboard with a wide 21:9 infotainment display, allowing easy projection of Google Maps for convenience. So you almost don't need anything else. Then also a head-up display, which is certainly in the vehicle size isn't always available. Nice multifunction steering wheel. The only thing that bothers me is this army of switches. So we have the gear selector here, the wiper lever, and down here the volume controls for the infotainment. I find it a bit overwhelming, a bit much, but otherwise well done that we have the climate menu here again. Haptic air vents, and here again they've incorporated that nice denim fabric that we already know from the R5. So Renault really offers such an absolutely premium material mix combined with beautiful digitalization and Google Automotive in the interior. So what is this, Stefan?
Not sure. Seems harmless. It's a baguette holder.
Yes, definitely. So you can hear, feel free to write it in the comments. Probably put your baguette from the baker in, or maybe a nice bottle of red wine, where the scope is probably slightly too limited here. So once again, like a really, really super cool story indeed. And here you get, on one hand, the static roof, again nicely with this ribbing, which we know from the R5. In a moment, I'll show you another highlight that you can also get for the R4. This will really excite the convertible enthusiasts. Here we have the top lining of the R4, and nicely paired here with faux leather seat mixed with fabric. Check out the attention to detail Renault offers. When Stefan points to the roof, you see a folding roof in action, a noteworthy feature. I would say particularly the convertible enthusiasts who cherish the sensation of open air will be absolutely overjoyed, I truly believe. In those days, I always found it incredibly stylish, the manner in which one could effortlessly allow the fresh air to flow in here, nearly achieving a pseudo-convertible ambiance, particularly with that impressively large. Please comment below to let us know if you prefer solid steel roofs or elegant butterfly designs. We're currently at the DS booth, and DS is essentially considered one of the premium luxury brands within the Stellantis group. Here on display is the new model number 8 for everyone to see. It's truly stunning, boasting an impressive and elegant two-tone paint finish. It showcases glossy black, expertly paired with a beautiful and striking silver metallic. I find it very, very chic, but the glossy black is of course always a bit. Then car washes. What's truly wonderful about number 8 is that it has a P-like rear line. It's a totally unique design, and I'm genuinely quite curious to find out what you think about number 8. Something completely different from what we're actually used to from traditional car manufacturers. And the rear section here is an absolute highlight, also with the LED tail lights again. I find it super, super stylish, and the number 8 is of course also a car with which you should be able to travel very, very well. I just have no idea where the tailgate opens. There must probably be some button hidden somewhere. We'll find that hidden button, enabling us to provide a detailed look at the trunk and all its features for you. What DS pays special attention to is the car's interior. We'll be having a closer look at that in just a moment. Examine how they have accomplished that here, and as always, it's apparently a user error because the handle is cleverly hidden in this spot. Having it positioned at the tailgate is logical. This sleek and stylish fastback design includes a generously large tailgate, making trunk access both easy and very convenient for users in everyday situations. That definitely seems like it could be around 500 to 600 liters. And then here with a double loading floor as well, where you can really store something deep down. Can load directly. I think it's really well made, high quality and nicely designed. Everything lined with carpet, everything nicely solid goes up with it. That was the disadvantage with the Model S back then, that the parcel shelf didn't go up with it. Let me guess, what opens electrically? If it doesn't go electric, that's how it'll be here too. Share your thoughts in the comments on how you feel about two-tone paints and if that's something for you. Welcome to the interior of the DS number 8 or number 8. I must say that's truly a very cool and stylish design, don't you think?
Sure, yep.
That's completely different from what you're used to. If I pan to the left here, Stefan, you can see it, I think, from the door panel. Everything is covered with fine leather. It feels like Napa leather. This is probably the top exhibit because here it's a Focal 3D sound. Focal is really a top-notch premium manufacturer for sound systems. Then we have the head-up display, which also shows navigation data, and a map is projected through the glass. Really great. And then, yeah, almost like a square, just with rounded corners. Then there's the steering wheel.
I'm feeling a bit spaced out.
And also everything really made from the finest Napa leather. Here too, the hubcap with Napa leather. A very, very high resolution colored bicycle display in a really decent size. And perhaps the highlight might even be this impressive infotainment display. That's not 21:9. It actually kind of feels like maybe 35:8 or something quite similar to such a ratio.
Somehow really narrow.
Sure, even though I haven't taken a look at the press kit yet, but it's quite interesting and cool because it somehow connects the driver over to the passenger side. Here we have the finest leather again and air vents. Then another quick control right here. The inductive charging tray is lined with Alcantara here. I think that's really chic too. Then here once more in this matte black finish, then you have the ambient lighting beautifully integrated. And so the French really managed to make it kind of trashy. It's quite a fantastic design, isn't it? And I think it's for individualists because not everyone will rave about this design. A nice cup holder, which can also be closed up very, very nicely here. Every part is elegantly wrapped in luxurious leather. The quality and refinement present are truly nearly unrivaled.
Everything's fully there.
The only thing that really appears simple by comparison is just this particular fabric right here. Like an elegant microfiber or an Alcantara, that truly would have been the ultimate highlight. What is undoubtedly brilliant and impressive is that we have an impressively massive glass roof here, where we hopefully have some sort of mechanism or way to darken it if needed, because I could easily imagine that in the summer it would heat up quite quickly again. Stefan checks the passenger door again, then we'll show the seats. The view through the passenger door reveals this open gas center console design. Here you also have cup holders, USB ports. You can close this area with a sliding cover. A carpet is also placed here. Naturally, if you happen to put down an expensive handbag or a men's bag, it really shouldn't just sit right on the plain plastic, but instead with a nice felt lining, and you see it works. You just have to have this attention to detail, which DS has here with the number 8. And this trend continues here in the seat area. We have this beautiful perforated premium leather once again. That means we have at least seat heating, probably also seat ventilation, seat massage, strong lumbar support, superb thigh support, compact shoulder cushions, and an integrated headrest positioned right here. Observe the illuminated DS symbol over there. Once again, that demonstrates their dedication and passion for meticulous detail. But to be honest, there's also a lot of hard plastic down here in the glove compartment. Unfortunately, it's not lined with felt either. Down below, everything beneath the waistline is actually largely made up of solid, hard plastic material. Here it is soft. That's beneficial because you might use it with the knee or shin hitting, as it's made of hard plastic. Unfortunately, the entry is quite high, and then there's the B pillar, which can rattle and creak, particularly on rougher roads or after extended periods of use. When Stefan shows the entire door panel again, you'll notice the top part is very calm, while the bottom segment is made of hard plastic, which is kind of like shoes. At the very least, you will find a carpet insert within the hard plastic construction. Yes, perhaps they could have added a tad more detail for a truly refined finish. Featuring a headliner made from a mix of materials. At Lancia, they're moving fully to electric vehicles with the new Ypsilon. Known for its bold and extroverted design, the Ypsilon is a model that Lancia naturally continues to evolve. With this new version, they focus on preserving and enhancing that unique flair. A beautiful, compact electric car here in this lovely mint green metallic finish. What really appeals to me is how everything up here is elegantly black. This makes it look flat and broad, and down here it has like a sort of two-tone effect. And especially when we take a closer look at the rear section, it might even be considered its most appealing side, because Lancia went all out with the design, particularly focusing on the taillights and the distinct shape of the Y. Put a lot of effort into it. Stefan, have you ever shown this here? What a beautiful Y it is.
Yes, you can also see it well on the other side.
Look pretty strong, right? Yeah. And now, of course, comes the trick question again. I realize that after the number 8, I've indeed revealed myself, but I believe it's reasonably easy here to understand how one should go about opening the trunk. I think we have about 260 to 300 liters here. That's just an estimate from me. The parcel shelf has been placed in here. I think that's good. The seats can be folded down 60-40 to perhaps gain a bit more variability in loading. So from that perspective, Lancia has at least done his job on the outside. Now let's take a look at how it is inside. Welcome to the interior of the new Lancia Ypsilon, and here too we undoubtedly find what is unmistakably a typical Stellantis product. How can we tell, Stefan?
Well, I am able to notice it by checking the gear positions like reverse and neutral, and that is indeed how it seems to be everywhere.
I actually meant the infotainment here.
No.
We also know that from Opel. We know it from other derivatives, but it's not a problem at all if it works well and is practical, and it does. And that combined with a nice, very, very grippy steering wheel here, also with the corresponding buttons. It seems a bit familiar from the Astra, doesn't it?
Okay.
Except that now, of course, there's no Opel logo on it, but Lancia. Large driver information display. Then, of course, a nice infotainment display in the center. Here we have inductive charging, like a plate is made. This is recycled material here, almost looks like black marble at first glance. Here there's a nice gold edge which appears brushed. It could also be plastic combined with the air vents. Up here it's brushed black, made of aluminum. I'm not entirely sure what it is, but it's probably some component of the sound system.
Yes, that could be, yeah.
So from that perspective, we'll definitely go through all of this in thorough detail with you during the classic review, utilizing color coding and everything. Now let's take another look through the passenger door. What kind of fancy seats do we have installed here? The view through the passenger door shows you again, I think, very, very beautifully what a great interior we have here. Unfortunately, we have such a rigid center console here because it's also available as a hybrid, likely as a combustion engine and as a purely electric variant. And that's why we don't have maximum space here. And you can see when I have my leg here on the right, for some, like we know from the Polestar 2, it might bumping a bit, particularly when sitting further forward with the tray. You really should try that out for yourselves during a seating test. Yes, the highlight for me definitely is the fabric used here on the seat. That really feels a lot like felt. But I think in realities, it's just like we know from the carpets. Feels very, very good. It's definitely an alternative to Alcantara, in my opinion, especially in this red-brown orange shade. Feel free to leave a comment below on how you perceive the color on camera. Sit down. Extremely comfortable, has decent thigh support, proper lumbar support, a bit for the shoulders, and up here a nice headrest. Look, beautifully integrated design with Lancia. So all of this is incredibly chic and impressively stylish, but once again we find ourselves back with the DS number 8. Everything below the beltline area is essentially just made of hard plastic material. We don't want to keep that from you. The glove compartment is also not lined with felt. Decent floor mats, but also in the area of the driver's entryway, it's all with harder plastic where it might rattle. What fascinates me the most is a black roof lining. I think that's really chic. A nice glass there, if available as an option, would be nice too, right?
It's always different. There's more light in a car too.
Feel free to write in the comments, how do you see the landscape of Y electricity? I understand that some of you might become critical now, but I really want to show you an impressive combustion engine as well. A truly stunning Alfa Romeo indeed. For me personally, it's genuinely one of the most beautiful and remarkable super hypercars available on the market right now. I believe it's also manufactured in very limited small series, if I'm not mistaken. And yes, reserved for just a select few accordingly. We've got beautiful gull-wing doors here. Also featuring a lovely modern cockpit design with some retro elements woven in. And yes, I would say that the 33 Stradale definitely made quite a substantial visual impact, especially from an aesthetic viewpoint. And when you take a closer look at the rear section, which truly stands out as one of the highlights of this vehicle, particularly at the lower part with the exquisitely designed carbon diffuser and the striking LED taillights, then it's truly a super hypercar of the extra class. I can imagine that for some enthusiasts and collectors, it is a sought-after item to put in their collector's garage. We've already introduced the Leapmotor C10 to you as a completely electric model, and now it's being improved with the addition of a plug-in hybrid version. So just like you are already familiar with it in its fully electric form, it will be available again in the future as a plug-in hybrid version, then as a RE EV, meaning with a range extender included, where you will have a 28.8 kilowatt-hour battery pack available, allowing you to charge at 65 kilowatt direct current fast charging stations, which lets you drive up to an impressive 145 kilometers purely electrically, and then with the range extender combined with gasoline, you can actually travel an astounding 950 kilometers without the need to recharge or refuel. It will be identifiable solely by the gasoline filler cap. At the front, there's no frunk since a small internal combustion engine is positioned right there. Which will be responsible for ensuring the extension of the electric range. It will likely start at a price level comparable to that of the purely battery electric vehicle. We have the data sheet available here for you, and we will show it to you now. Unfortunately, the plug-in hybrid vehicle didn't manage to arrive in Brussels in time. It was intended to be on display in place of this all-electric model. We will offer a quick still image of the data sheet, enabling you to access all the necessary information by pausing the video momentarily. Feel free to take an even closer look if you find yourself intrigued by the upcoming plug-in hybrid version rather than just the fully electric one. And I know that some of you might be wondering, why have a range extender? Why opt for a plug-in hybrid? Yeah, because there are folks who aren't quite prepared to fully commit to buying a completely electric car. To make use of this with a range extender in our field of electromobility, I still think it's quite beneficial if we have excellent quality plug-in hybrids, and the Leapmotor C10 really demonstrates impressive performance due to its 28.8 kilowatt-hour battery and an electric range of 145 kilometers. This setup allows you to manage daily life entirely on electric power, except when it comes to undertaking long journeys or weekend escapes. We're currently at Citroën, where we're excited to show you the brand new C5 Aircross concept car. It absolutely looks intriguing and holds much appeal, particularly in this unique shade of green. If it were a Porsche, I'd go so far as to call it Mamba Green Metallic. At Citroën, it will undoubtedly get a different name. Yes, it's a very nice cross-utility vehicle, which could also be considered an SUV, situated somewhere in between, boasting the most popular length in the segment. I'd guess it's about 4 meters 70, 4 meters 80 in length, space for 4 adults plus corresponding luggage, and it looks obviously mega futuristic. I just have to pass through the frame here. Please take a look at these tail lights. They're nearly like skids.
Overall, the entire shape, take a look. It seems almost as if it's straight at the back. So I really have to say.
Our French colleagues consistently reserve a variety of the newest and most delightful design treats specifically just for us. And the rear part just looks extremely snazzy. What I really appreciate as well is that it's done not in chrome, but simply in a clean white finish. We know that from VW. We started with the ID series by presenting the brand logo simply in white. The standout feature has to be the sleek rear diffuser. So I truly believe we can hopefully be super thrilled about the C5 Aircross being completely electric. We recently introduced the brand new EC3 to you just before Christmas and mentioned that there will indeed be an Aircross. So it's slightly higher, somewhat larger, and a little more imposing. And here we have the exciting all-new EC3. Aircross Max. And that's truly a fantastic story where each of you has the opportunity accordingly. Then venture into even larger and more spacious travel experiences. Naturally, it's entirely electric, exactly as one would expect from a truly proper, modern vehicle designed for the future. And here, once again, we beautifully have the black glossy finish paired with the exterior color. A sort of silver gray metallic aesthetic combined, paired with stylish rims installed, and everything just slightly larger to provide more spaciousness when on extended travels and journeys. Sure, let's see if we can check out the trunk. And here it is, by the way. Don't make it white, Stefan, but here it's actually still kind of chrome striped. Yeah. So Citroën also offers a variety of different options. What kind of enormous trunk is that, please?
Oh yes, that is really deep.
I could easily imagine it being around 450 liters, if not even more than that. You can fit quite a lot of luggage in there. I really think that's yet another compelling reason for us to take a good look inside, don't you agree?
Absolutely.
Welcome to the inside. Is that the proper way to phrase it? I mean, you're talking about interior design.
Right, interior.
Interior, yeah.
Certainly. Let's ensure we don't turn this into something amusing, as we truly find it quite stylish and impressive how Citroën has carefully and creatively crafted this interior space. We're already familiar with parts of it from the EC3, particularly the top part. In that model, there was a phone holder. Here we have the beautifully large infotainment display, which is not only visually appealing, but also highly functional. As far as I know, you can easily connect your device using Apple CarPlay and Android Auto to enhance your driving experience, probably through a cable connection or potentially even wirelessly. We also have a 113 horsepower electric motor on the front axle paired with a 44 kilowatt-hour battery pack. But wait, you can feel it in a significantly larger interior. Even you in the back have, I believe, noticeably more space.
Yes, especially upwards.
I think the car is truly a space concept for its size.
Sure.
What Citroën has put together is something you must experience live. I'm really looking forward to the review and the test drive because it's another cool mix of materials. Here's this small flattened steering wheel followed by the typical Stellantis gear selector, the air conditioning system, cup holders, and most likely an inductive charging pad over there. That's all très chic, as they often say. Now let's take a closer look to see if it has the same très chic appearance when viewed through the passenger door. On each door, there's a phrase written with "have fun" on the passenger side door. Meanwhile, the driver's door says "be cool." Stefan, check back stuff?
Feel good, happy, right?
Yeah, isn't it just wonderful? It's truly amazing to feel uplifted when you close the door behind you. In our sometimes dull and dreary world, that's a genuine bright spot that can make a difference. Yes, the center console is fixed here, and as you've seen, we have a nice center armrest, which, and I think it's cool, can be adjusted so you sit ergonomically. We've got stylish seats once again at Citroën. Over here, they are also combined with a rectangular tiled pattern fabric, elegantly paired with faux leather detailing. Feels very high quality. Also offers, in my opinion, decent side support. Don't you know, like up in the attic here, where I was always sliding back and forth, so Citroën gives you a bit more stability with their seating arrangement. I've got an abundance of headroom available here. You can easily notice it through this higher roofline, and because of that, everything feels quite nicely neat. Sure, below the waistline we have plastic again. Yeah, then also not lined with felt or anything. Hard plastic like we have at the entrance. That means it can also rattle and clatter here. And yeah, well, in this price range, Stefan, let's be honest, if we come back to the door panel last but not least, consists mostly of hard plastic. Unfortunately, the Mr. Fun sign doesn't quite manage to cover that up. Ultimately, I truly believe that individuals who opt for such a vehicle are looking to embrace a certain level of pragmatism in their choice. That they can easily transport several people from point A to point B, have a spacious and decent trunk, and likely reach their destinations within the urban environment or overland on medium-distance trips. Isn't that just really cool and convenient?
Yeah, I agree.
I'm truly excited and hope we'll get the chance to drive and experience it soon and share that with you. Oh, I'm so happy.
We made it back to the Atom Boy after all.
Yes, with the ED1000 we couldn't do it because of the bike race, but now we're here at the expo at the fairgrounds, the massive Atomium. Feel free to comment if you've ever been there. I find it truly impressive.
Yes, it's lovely.
Although I imagined it even bigger, right?
Surreal?
As a Leo, I would truly love having a majestically crafted Lion like Peugeot's, elegantly designed as a stylish and eye-catching plug or uniquely distinctive wall box.
Cool, huh? You can put it in the garage, yeah.
Peugeot showcases its new models here, the E3008, which we already presented to you in a classic review and test drive. And behind me is also the E5008, which we will get in February as a test car, and we will show you 2 or 3 exciting videos about the big Peugeot. Create E5008. Here, of course, also a very, very beautiful stand at the auto show in Brussels. One of the main highlights at Peugeot is the sleek E408, which is beautifully and elegantly displayed here in GT trim. This vehicle is also scheduled to arrive for us in 2025, probably in the spring or summer, as an all-electric version, and it is expected to provide over 500 kilometers of electric range. We have something like a fastback design here. You could also refer to it as a cross-utility vehicle. I find it very, very stylishly done. It's a bit higher, but not as high as an SUV, and offers plenty of space right here in the back under the fleece hack. I'm quite sure that we've shown you the 408 before as a plug-in hybrid. It was available in both a hybrid version and also as a plug-in hybrid option. And now they plan for spring, perhaps summer 2025, making it fully battery electric. And just with this fleece hack structure, it really opens up the nice and spacious trunk volume. I have to say, I genuinely believe that this feature is mega for a lot of you out there. Incredibly practical. It seems likely he'll start at approximately 50,000 euros, I would estimate. And yes, let's take a look inside to see how the 408 GT looks on the inside when fully electric. Here inside, you can see very, very nicely this unique way of Peugeot thinking in design and style is completely different from what we might know so far. We have the driver display up here, which sits very high. So it actually, if you think about it, replaces the head-up display as it aligns with the sightline. Looking outwards, there's a steering wheel flattened at top and bottom, adjustable in height based on preference. Quickly and easily. You know this from, I think, the E208 where we showed it to you. Then maybe depending on the seating position, it can also slip in front of the display. Yes, here in the center we have the main unit. Peugeot, as you know, is part of Stellantis, and we're familiar with the core elements here, which have been updated a bit to offer an improved experience. Essentially have a kind of quick access button here too. I believe it's been executed quite well with the touch interface. There's also a click like haptic feedback when you switch back and forth, with a nice illumination. So that's really, really premium-like. We have the volume up and down lever. We have quick access buttons for the climate menu and the typical gear selector. And then here, nicely under a roller blind, 2 cup holders, USB-C ports, inductive charging surface. That's all elegantly done. Here's also another nice compartment. So there's a certain quality to it. Up here is nice and soft, and up here is a plastic that resembles faux leather. So this is truly an excellent mix, particularly here in the GT trim, and perhaps we should also take another good look through the passenger door. And here too, I think you can somewhat see that it's built on a mixed platform because of this rigid center console. Here once more nicely highlighted with a plastic seam. This yellowish-greenish adhesive typically serves as a clear identifier for the entirely electric variant. And then we have here, as I find, a very, very nice sporty seat. Also a faux leather fabric with Alcantara mix. You can see this here. You also have the adjustment available if you have longer legs. So Peugeot also offers maximum comfort up to and including the headrest, shoulder support and lumbar support. All very, very chic. Fabric, Alcantara and faux leather. I must say it's quite high-end, right?
Indeed.
And also super, super comfortable. What can't be missing here is a bit of hard plastic down here. But you see that with Peugeot, with a nice felt, which is then richly outfitted. Truly very high quality indeed. Only here, maybe the door sill area, that could potentially end up getting a bit scratched over time. And yes, the rattling noise from the board is probably not something that can always be entirely avoided. But that's just the way the passage of time goes. Stefan will now show you a little bit of the door panel. Even there, I think there's a very high quality mix of materials, especially since the compartment is lined with carpet so it doesn't rattle and clatter. Even the handle for pulling it shut features a slight rubberized texture, so everything has been crafted in a very thorough and stylish manner. I am really looking forward to hopefully presenting you with a detailed and thorough review along with a driving report of the E408 GT when summer begins. In Brussels, the flagship model from Hyundai, namely the brand new Ioniq 9, which was also unveiled not long ago during an event in America, absolutely must not be missing from the lineup. So it's really a massive and robust electric SUV with its smaller sibling akin to the Kia EV9 model. Still, Hyundai has intricately personalized an array of numerous elements and made sure the classic Hyundai design language clearly pervades throughout the entire model, making it stand out distinctly within their lineup. Especially here in the rear section with the pixel LED elements, you can probably recognize it most clearly as a Hyundai. But it has this really nice slim vibe that almost brings to mind a bit of the Volvo style in its design, wouldn't you say?
Sure.
And it doesn't even look that super tall, so they've done a really good job. Such a big mega SUV with over 5 meters in length, I think, from memory. To make it nicely. Flat and aerodynamic. And undeniably, that's also of significant importance in the end to effectively achieve an outstanding driving range with a vehicle of such large size. Of course, we also have the opportunity to show you the car from the inside for a moment. The colleagues have unlocked it. You can see here this wonderful interior concept with the 2 screens which are geared towards the driver in the head-up display, and the beautiful new steering wheel design which is very nice and soft with this faux leather. Then we have the visual buttons, the wiper lever, the gear lever, which is all similar to what we know from other Hyundai vehicles. Below we also have the air conditioning menu, up here the shortcut keys for the infotainment, all nicely sorted.
Yeah, fine. It looks so huge from back here too.
And particularly in this combination with the gray, it's also pleasantly soft. Then down here with the plastic, which looks like silver. And once more right here with this pattern, it simply looks genuinely chic. It's not carbon, it's not wood or anything else, really. I honestly have to admit, they've thought of something truly great here. Up here, everything lined with finest Alcantara. The headliner in light color looks very nice. You can certainly probably get it in anthracite color as well. Bose sound system. Ultimately, you have the wonderful opportunity to travel comfortably here with a total of up to 6 individuals or even 7 people together. So we also have a third row here. Stefan is, of course, sitting like a boss again. Second row on the chair, which you are able to effortlessly transform into a very cozy and incredibly soothing power nap feature. That's absolutely the case. It's really a great story to tell. You are able to adjust the seat here on the passenger side as well, just like you're accustomed to doing. And then I believe you can genuinely travel very comfortably here with at least 4 or potentially even 6 individuals. Let's take a quick look through the passenger door now. The view through the passenger door shows you this concept of the center console, which we also know from the Ioniq 5, can be adjusted according to your needs. I think it's extremely well executed. So if you ever need more room to place something here, you can simply slide it back. You've got another tier here that features a spacious compartment where you can, with high likelihood, also charge something inductively. You've got multiple USB-C ports here in addition to a 12-volt connection, so it's all incredibly well executed. Here's another inductive charging pad, also some quick access buttons, and 2 cup holders. Here's another opportunity to open a huge flap with storage space. I think there's even a double layer here. Stefan, look, it goes really deep down here and then extends forward here. Well, you could almost fit a carry-on suitcase in there. That might have been a bit of an exaggeration. But that's just incredibly brilliant. Super smooth with seats that are unbelievably comfortable, and they also have the amazing option to be adjusted into a really nice reclining position. Elegantly styled in dark grey and light grey perforations. This ensures we certainly have features like seat heating and ventilation included here. I hope for a cool massage too. And we also have a nice glove compartment here. Unfortunately, there's a bit of a lack of felt here, and what's missing for me as well is like a disinfection tray in the Santa Fe, you know, with that UV light.
Yes, exactly, you're right, it's not here.
So either we haven't found it yet, or we don't know where exactly it is. That would be pretty cool to just disinfect a few things with such a UV light. Absolutely, it's such a fantastic idea, and seriously, just take a moment to see how much room there is inside the trunk. Even when the third row of seats is folded up, we know this from the Kia EV9. how spacious the Koreans build such large SUVs. I mean, you can now electrically fold down the third row of seats and then probably feel like you have around 900 liters of trunk volume, right?
Fits quite a lot in, right?
The whole thing can, of course, be opened and closed electrically, and what Hyundai also offers naturally is an appropriate roof load if you want to transport something on the roof. Or even for the friend-maintained trailer sports, an appropriate trailer hitch. We are currently at BYD, and it appears that the Atto 2 is anticipated to make its arrival in Germany in the first quarter, brought by BYD. The Atto 2 is an electric vehicle within the B segment category, which is expected to have a starting price of likely under 35,000 euros. It will be available with two different battery sizes, one offering 44 kilowatt hours, and I am guessing that something around 60 kilowatt hours will probably follow, equipped with a larger battery pack. We have it here with a good 4 meters and 30 centimeters in length in the standard version. There will always be a design or a better equipment option available. But even here in the standard version, I genuinely believe the Atto 2 looks incredibly impressive and can undoubtedly give some of the established vehicle manufacturers a slight challenge, perhaps even prompting them to rethink their strategies. Certainly, we can check out the trunk back here. The lid needs to be opened manually, and then you'll observe that you have a much more spacious trunk here than, let's say, what you typically find in the Dolphin, for instance, where we have, I would estimate, roughly around 400 liters of trunk volume. Given that the car has just recently arrived in Europe, we haven't yet been able to obtain all the data that are currently available to us at this moment in time. We will also soon go over the look inside. That means taking a look at what the Atto 2 looks like on the inside. And also, I find that the interior of the Atto 2 is very, very premium. We have here, on the one hand, a nice, handy, multifunction steering wheel. And up here we have plastic, but everything is softly padded underneath. Right here, there's an additional microfiber design line, similar to an Alcantara covering over it. Then we have here in the middle a nice, large infotainment display, which was classic for BYD from horizontal. Also electrically adjustable to vertical, but that's nothing new for you since you've already seen a lot of BYD videos from us before. At the heart of it all, as always, is a very clear driver information display. And it's exceptionally readable, providing all the essential information you might need. You can adjust the steering wheel both in terms of height and distance, which is quite convenient. In the central area, we have a very strong and robust center console that really stands out, where we have the capability to charge inductively right here. Additionally, there are adjustable air vents, and in typical SUV fashion, we have beautifully designed grab handles. Also with a good faux leather, covered, I must say, even though it's in the B segment, it feels quite premium.
Absolutely.
The gear selector is designed to resemble a beautiful piece of crystal art, like a finely cut diamond. Everything here is nice without piano lacquer in this grey metallic with a start and stop button, and on the side volume control. We can control recuperation and drive modes with two cup holders here. Then here we find another small, convenient handle which allows us to open a spacious storage compartment. This compartment is perfect for stowing away a variety of items and additionally functions as a comfortable center armrest. I have impressive seating ergonomics here. The seat is fully back and low, providing ample room for the B segment. And up here, we also have a massive glass sliding roof, which, however, conveniently comes with an integrated sunshade for added comfort. I'm not sure if the function is currently operating. The button, however, definitely appears to serve absolutely no purpose at the moment. You've got this type of blind here, which you can close entirely if you want. And finally, let's take another look through the passenger door. Stefan, you've got tons of space in the back.
Yeah, I'm sitting really well here. I don't think it's quite that far forward yet either. That's good on the B pillar. But look at how much space I still have between my knee and the seat. Man, that's really good.
The use of the 4.30 meters of space here reminds me of a Kia EV3. Absolutely, yeah. I truly believe that this could turn out to be quite an interesting battle. A look through the passenger door also gives you another glimpse of this open concept. Here's a lovely little compartment where you might be able to store a lady's handbag, a man's handbag, or even some extra bits and bobs. USB-C, USB-A port. At the moment, I wasn't able to spot a 12-volt socket, but it is definitely there. And then we have the usual BYD seats, which are designed with a very sporty style and offer good lumbar support, decent shoulder, thigh support, shoulder, right? Thigh, shoulder.
Addition.
But also a wonderful thigh support with the exact length. And up here, I was once more lost in thought, faster than with words. Up here, then a lovely and comfortable shoulder rest, integrated headrest. Here's the pass-through from the back to the front again. kind of very sporty cut.
Chic, eh?
Only down here you find a bit of hard plastic. However, we have a nice and spacious glove compartment, though unfortunately it isn't lined with felt. And last but not least, Stefan will show you the door panel, which also has a good mix of materials. At the top there's microfiber, then a sort of faux leather with a seam. In the middle there's also faux leather with a nice texture, a little fry holder, and at the bottom it's hard plastic. Where the storage area is located, if there's no carpet or felt, it can quite quickly start to rustle and rattle. I'm really looking forward to when BYD introduces the car here and we can present it to you in a classic review with a detailed driving report. Xpeng is here in Brussels as well, showcasing an advanced and innovative aircraft that might possibly enable us to fly around more conveniently in the future. It made its spectacular world premiere at CES 2025 in Las Vegas, and in addition, there's an accompanying vehicle that allows you to essentially engage with this. I don't even know if you call that a quadcopter or a helicopter. Yeah.
That's one, precisely.
Whatever aircraft you can then stow inside when you want to travel on the ground. And when you decide you want to fly, you simply take it out of the vehicle and you can then easily take off into the air. That would be an awesome future if we could somehow fly through the air purely electrically, right?
Sure, it's thrilling.
The hobby drone enthusiasts among you would likely have a considerable amount of enjoyment and excitement in taking to the skies with the aircraft, so to speak. It has returned to Europe, and this time you can find it in Paris, the Xpeng P7 Plus. You may be wondering, aren't we already pretty familiar with the P7? It's been available for a while from Xpeng, yes, but with the Plus model, the key once again lies in the finer details as they add new elements. That indicates Plus also implies rapid charging capabilities, utilizing 800-volt technology, so you'll likely be able to charge from 10 to 80% in under 20 minutes. A refined, elegantly crafted long limousine featuring a sleek, sweeping coupe-like line, showcased in stunning metallic black combined with beige tones. Honestly, I've never really been much of a fan of beige, but I think I'm starting to really warm up to it because it simply looks incredibly good on this car. Yes, back here we've got another edge skillfully recessed, so that's another impressive and great design feature that Xpeng is introducing to the European market. And of course, we are very much hopeful that by the end of the year 2025, it will also become available here in Germany. Currently, it is already available in China, and we are actually expecting the market launch here in Europe and especially in Germany. Yes, 725 liters of trunk volume. At last, the sedan lid is gone. We've gotten a nice hatchback, which is obviously quite advantageous when it comes to loading and carrying things. It is great. And here we also have a nice large double loading floor. I've already placed the weights in here so we can lift a few with Stefan a little later on, of course, during our planned workout routine. Just imagine if we folded down the back seat right now, then you could definitely fit in your dear mother-in-law's dresser, couldn't you?
But without problems.
Let me guess, with Xpeng, everything is electric too? What's electric? Very nice. Then let's quickly take a look inside. A warm welcome to the interior of the P7 Plus, and here Xpeng really shows what is possible in the premium segment, especially with this two-tone color scheme, dark grey with white or light grey. I find it super stylish, don't you think?
Very classy.
And the car here is equipped with full AI support. It's also going to be the first one that will actually come to Europe. And they've also listened to the customers and created manual air vents again.
Vented.
So you see, Xpeng not only watches our videos, but also reads your comments and definitely does things with a nice click and clack. I really have to say, that's high-end, isn't it? Everything is nice and soft here, also two-toned, then again with the silver arch. Here too, the push button, nicely smooth rotary dial. We know that from the G6. I hope you've watched our video with the Xpeng G6. But of course, this is a whole different vehicle dimension here. We also have two inductive charging areas, two cup holders, and a nice large monitor with the latest infotainment systems. At Xpeng, there's an innovation offering a new update. Cruise control now goes up to
Bis zu 150 Kilometer pro Stunde.
That was also a point we discussed in the video and which has now finally been resolved by an update after the Christmas season, correct?
Yes.
So you see, if you actively engage by leaving comments with us, the press officers really take note, pass it on to the programmers, and then it simply gets updated in the car, doesn't it?
Simply, exactly.
Finally, let's take a closer look through the passenger door here into the front area. The view through the passenger door again shows how much space. And roomy here, I really have a beautiful limousine. Up here, everything with the finest Alcantara. Then we have a nice large glass roof. We've got the center console here, but with a small compartment for a men's pouch, a small lady's handbag. That's nicely done. We have a huge storage compartment here. Let's see, Stefan, which somehow I think even, I don't know if it can be ventilated here, or here again are such switches and levers. That's of course also brilliant. And then we have here really nice soft seats, which are also beautifully perforated here, and they offer seat ventilation, seat heating, seat massage, even available in the rear, by the way. So I think we're really excited for when this car arrives. We have a nice glove compartment, which the G6 didn't have, I believe. It didn't have a glove compartment. This one is nicely lined with felt. That's obviously important for quite a few of you. So everything's cool. The only thing that's not cool is Xpeng. If you're bringing it to Germany, please get rid of the hard plastic here. Pull down the Alcantara fabric so it doesn't create any rattling noise here. Also, I believe that we have an amazing surround sound system installed here, which we are keen to test thoroughly alongside Rivio and Fabrikt for you. One of the highlights and another world premiere here at the Brussels Auto Show is the unveiling of the new Toyota Urban Cruiser, which is a fully battery electric vehicle, also categorized in the B segment. In my opinion, the vehicle design is chic and modern. Unlike Toyota's usual quirks, this model features a streamlined and clean design that could appeal to a wide variety of people who appreciate simplicity in cars. Below, a lot of base material all around. Then in the middle, you've got the car color, here a nice white metallic. And then, for instance, a nice black roof on top, which I believe really suits the Urban Cruiser perfectly. Remarkably chic, especially the front, as it even has a sporty vibe to it with pixelated daytime lights and the LED headlights positioned right beneath them. I can see how enthusiastic Toyota fans, especially those into fully battery electric cars, might envision their future in this urban cruiser. Introduced to you just a few days ago in the studio and now presenting it live and in person here in Brussels is the brand new Skoda Enyaq Coupe, which showcases their innovative and refreshed design. And these are the pixel elements of the daytime running lights, separate from the main headlights, standard LED, optional matrix LED. What I also find very well executed is this new styling here of the grille, so to speak, which is now gracefully paired with the R lines. It's worth mentioning because the Skoda Enyaq, particularly in its coupe version with a drag coefficient of 0.225, also provides an exceptionally interesting aerodynamic performance. Yes, the wheel design has changed a bit. Some attentive viewers noticed that in the comments. Feel free to take an even closer look. It would be great if you could show it closely, Stefan, for our viewers. It truly looks incredibly stylish and suits the Skoda Enyaq Coupe wonderfully well, enhancing its overall visual appeal. Especially in this grey color, when combined with the shiny black elements, there's a particularly striking effect. I would venture to say it seems highly likely that this could very well be a Sportline version we are observing here. Looks pretty stylish, doesn't it?
So charming.
It's rather unfortunate they didn't decide to make the rear section of the beautiful coupe a bit more futuristic in the way they styled or designed the front aspect. Yes, we have LED taillights, but they could have been a tad more progressive, don't you think?
Certainly, definitely.
Here displayed as the 85X with 286 horsepower all-wheel drive. We take a good look into the trunk, where we find a generous 570 liters of storage volume, 585 in the sedan version, and really have some proper storage space here, where you can fit quite a lot of stuff, all beautifully lined, guaranteeing you perfect interior acoustics and sound experience. Pass through for a long item with the 40/60 setup foldable, letting you conveniently transport larger items easily too. Roof load is definitely available with the sedan, unfortunately I think not with the coupe. And you also have a trailer hitch, which unfortunately is limited to 1 ton or 1.2 tons at 12% incline. I would have really hoped that he could perhaps offer a little bit more in that particular aspect or area. Let's quickly head over to the limousine for another opportunity to take a detailed look at the redesigned rear section. I already showed you that in the earlier studio recording. These are those distinct silver elements that have been newly added there. I think he kept the rear design quite conservative in that area. Please take a moment to share your thoughts in the comments if you'd have liked a bit more. Progressiveness, creativity, and flair there. When we take a look inside, it reveals that by and large, everything remains pretty much unchanged and consistent with what we are familiar with. Maybe a different mix of materials here and there again. Here also nicely with a matte carbon, looks great. And of course, we have the very latest generation of the software on board here as well, which naturally responds in an even more powerful and efficient manner. Observe how VW, or specifically Skoda, which is indeed a member of the VW group, has truly advanced in comparison to the initial version. And that's truly, really well executed, honestly. And yes, I believe that's the way Skoda is once again paving the way to explore new paths. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes, for sure.
And here, of course, you should also get preconditioning for the battery and various things. What I find a bit unfortunate about the new Skoda Enyaq is that they didn't manage to get more energy density into the battery. That, depending on the specific battery pack you're using, you're limited to approximately 28 minutes for the charging process. The small battery charges 10.80 in 24 minutes. Wished for more gains like this, Stefan?
That'd have been it, exactly.
But you know it's how it is and we can't change it, right? We've got the head-up display, the driver display and the dashboard, and a grippy multifunction steering wheel. Unfortunately, down here, there's still a lever for the distance-regulating cruise control feature. I find it more practical on the wheel. Share your thoughts in the comments. I think we only have one inductive charging pad here, unfortunately not two. We couldn't fit two, unfortunately. There's a convenient cup holder, a really nice storage compartment, and lovely sporty seats in this section. I think it's certainly a Sportline trim package with Alcantara details included. It's quite elegant and very stylish.
Yes, it seems to look great.
The only thing the Coupe doesn't have is you can't get a panoramic glass sunroof. No, that's something reserved for the limousine, which can even open. But oh well, many of you probably might not actually open it anyway.
Yes, true, that's so.
He kind of looks like Gogo, I think he was called, or something like that before. Yeah. As it stands now, the vehicle is named Microlino, is fully electric, and allows for seating up to... The vehicle can accommodate two people, and indeed you can smoothly commute to your workplace or complete your shopping with this compact electric car. It's kind of amusing, don't you think so?
Certainly looks really cute, doesn't it?
Initially, I was thinking, well, 22,900 euros isn't exactly a small amount of money to spend, but the quality you receive here is truly very high. Yeah, back here you can somehow manage to open up the hatch if you know how to do it, right? It's kind of a classic for us, but what we can definitely manage is the door opener here. And then you can basically step in nicely through the door. First the driver, then the passenger, and then onto these great orange seats. It looks like Hermes leather, right? And then just take a seat and smoothly cruise through the city. Over here on the side, you've got these nifty sliding windows. Everything's kind of jazzed up, isn't it?
That was genuinely sweet.
Look, you just use your phone like that again. In the integration, just like we learned with the EC3, there's a little speedometer, you've got a navigation system, you can charge it. That truly is everything you need to effortlessly cruise around through the city.
Right, that's definitely enough.
And the side mirror on one side also functions as the headlight on the other side.
What's next, huh?
So from that perspective, I have to say everything is really fantastic. The only thing that's consistently a bit questionable about these micro vehicles, just like we mentioned with the Opel Rocks E, is just the safety crash zone. And because if there's a crash, it doesn't have an airbag and such things, then it can get a bit more dangerous.
Totally, yes.
And for those who have a fascination for an open Microlino, you will discover a concept car here where you can enjoy the fresh air by entering from the side instead of the front, truly offering a wonderful convertible-like experience. Well, it's definitely more of a fun car, right?
Also nice with the wood, I'm just thinking.
So from that perspective, it's definitely something for individualists and for people who, of course, have the necessary cash. Take a look, Stefan. You can also show the trunk over here. It is beautifully lined with some really nice quality wood. Now that's classy, like from the hunting shack, where you also have the option to take a little luggage, your shopping. So basically everything for the city, for short distances, I think you can do it really great with a Microlino. Here's another sort of like a different compromise where you can probably open the side parts. Seems like the Microlino is really making some serious progress.
Truly for everyone, surely.
At Auto Zurich in the video, I announced it to you. However, we didn't get to see it. The all-new Rimac Nevera R, the R specifically signifies even greater performance along with a notably higher degree of power. I think it now goes from 0 to 100 in under 2 seconds. And it looks real in person. Much more impressive than I must admit in photos or on the video.
Absolutely, without a doubt.
And especially when you get closer and look with the carbon chassis partly painted but still showing the visible carbon, filming into the cockpit reveals it's really well executed. Well, this truly represents a marvelous, super hyper electric car that is almost unmatched in its class and caliber. Yet naturally, it also comes with its unprecedented prices, as I believe it starting at 2.5 million euros net plus the respective VAT. So if you've got some space in your garage and want to hit the road a bit more performance-oriented like us, then this would certainly be an option. I believe it's truly unparalleled, especially considering the rear diffuser crafted with carbon and visible carbon, available in both matte and glossy finishes. Everything here is extremely cool and well made. Even the rims, they're not black, but rather perfectly match the overall design. Tone in tone when you see this here, metallically painted, and then just here to the side. I think you can also see the battery charge level here when you're charging it. It can certainly charge up quickly too, so that's definitely quite a cool feature.
Quite nicely strong.
Well, if it were a Spider or a convertible, then I might even get weak, don't you think, Stefan? Huh?
Certainly.
But do you think it could oust a 911 from my garage?
Sure.
What absolutely must not be missing at any trade show is naturally Cupra, and we've recently introduced the Tavascan to you through 3 different videos, or in other videos, the Terramar as a plug-in hybrid, or even the Leon both as a sport tourer and a sedan, much like the brand new Cupra Formentor. So Cupra has managed to completely renew its entire model range in quite a relatively short period of time. Volkswagen is naturally present here in Brussels as well, and on the one hand, of course, with the new ID.7 Tourer, as it says on it, we're now getting it as the ID.7 GTX Tourer, and we'll make 3 videos with you. Classic review, test drive, fuel consumption run as the second, and then a nice road trip. The ID.3 GTX can't possibly be left out. However, I must admit my absolute highlight, sorry everyone, is this truly stunning Golf 1 GTI. Something like this in a modern electric version would be awesome, wouldn't it?
Sure, that'd be a jam.
I think I'd still keep that as a combustion engine in the garage. It's an absolute highlight. Just have a quick glance. Those stunning fabric seats alone.
Absolute classic.
So VW really demonstrated how Golf works in its purest form. Tesla is also impressively present with a very, very large stand here in Brussels. Showcases the Cybertruck together with the Cybercab, both of which we've already shown to you earlier. And of course you have the Model 3, and as you can see here on the right side, there is the Tesla Model Y. Unfortunately, we don't have the Juniper yet because I believe we're somehow very close to getting it. Maybe there needs to be some developments in January for us to possibly witness the new Model Y being launched, wouldn't you say?
Hope so. We're curious.
In Germany, when you order a Model Y, you can expect delivery around May. It suggests a possible model change might occur, don't you think so?
We can indeed feel that.
We are currently at Suzuki, where Suzuki is proudly presenting the all-new e-Vitara at the European premiere event. They are showcasing it as their latest electric compact SUV. You might very soon be able to call it a new electric compact SUV sensation, right, Stefan? I think it's another vehicle for the B segment, probably about 4.30 meters, 4.40 meters long. Unfortunately, we couldn't find a current data sheet, but it looks quite stylish, especially in this green metallic paired with the black elements.
It has something, it's a nice change.
And Suzuki, of course, has a considerable number of many fans in Germany. We also have the wonderful opportunity to showcase the car to you in great detail. Let's check if we can get the trunk open here. Naturally, we want to ensure that you also have the chance to take a good, thorough look inside the trunk. That means we have here, I would estimate, roughly 280 liters of trunk volume.
About 300, yeah.
Then here again, a double loading floor where you can store something. And then you can, of course, also fold the seats 40-20-40. That means you also have a nice through loading option in the middle. What it has a bit is a relatively high entry, it feels like.
Yeah, but in the trunk area, it doesn't go back down. You only have that one height available and you have to lift it over. I really like it.
And what opens manually can also be closed manually. We can take another look at the rear section, so to speak. That's somehow successful. Looks simple, elegant, but also somewhat chic. Absolutely. Let's take a closer look to see if that appealing trend also continues within the interior space. A warm welcome to the interior of the electric Suzuki Vitara, also fondly known as the e-Vitara. I'm actually pleasantly surprised. Finally, some modern displays. Here with a large driver display, but it's not on since the ignition is off. We lack a head-up display, but I don't think it's essential. And have a sleek flat top and flat bottom steering wheel with haptic buttons, wiper and indicator levers. And of course, have the capability to make finely tuned adjustments for both height and distance in order to ensure optimal comfort. Yes, the central display located here in the middle also offers various options for settings and configurations you can make. So also Android Auto, Apple CarPlay mirroring, for example. You also have a decent integrated navigation system, which also responds relatively well. You see, we are still in Brussels, here at the auto show, and we have manual air vents, then a quick selection function for the climate control, which I find really great. Manually adjustable, loud and quiet, it honestly can't get any better. Inductive charging pad, 2 cup holders, the gear selector, and once again uphill and downhill driving modes, parking brake, because with the Suzuki Vitara, of course, you can also drive off-road to a certain extent.
Quite nice.
The only aspect that I don't particularly appreciate Suzuki is this enormous Abada piano we have here. Look, it's all full of stains, it's all scratched already.
Quite dusty, isn't it? There's a little bit of dust on top of it.
My friends, folks, it's a truly beautiful new car, yet unfortunately there's this combination of materials that just doesn't seem right. Otherwise, what we have here is a really beautiful glass roof, although as it seems you can't actually open it at all. Well, at least I haven't found the switch here, because this is the SOS button, which we would rather not trigger. Additionally, we have the option to securely seal this glass here whenever it is desired or considered necessary. But that would have been really cool if you could somehow open it. It doesn't even exist. I'm not entirely sure if there's an opening mechanism here. Let me know in the comments if you have any details. Let's take another look through the passenger door at the seats and console.
Are you checking out a movie here?
No, look, I got the bike display to turn on. I wanted to see how it looks. However, for some reason, the infotainment system right here in the center is behaving a little bit oddly. Could be that this is maybe still a pre-production vehicle. You don't know, we definitely have a sturdy center console here with storage options below for a small lady's handbag or a man bag, and probably also what I can't see, 12-volt connection, and here probably also various USB-A, USB-B ports. Yeah. Counting connections, Chad. So in that regard, it's very well done. We also have a really nice compartment here that you can fold out, where you have the option to store quite a lot of various stuff. And there's a classic glove compartment here. Below it's hard plastic, but above it's soft. Up here it's also a bit susceptible, so the mix of materials is mostly good, except for these piano lacquer bits.
Yes, that's simply not for me.
I absolutely really like the seats. They are a kind of medium brown paired with, well, I would say a nice dark brown. Anthracite. It has an appealing look, can definitely be heated when needed. Possibly even make use of it in some variants. Overall, it's undeniably really quite chic and stylish. And even the door panel, although it has a lot of plastic, has been quite nicely done with the ribbing and grain, I think, except for the piano finish. That truly is the classic one, isn't it? Yes, and there's a bit of fabric included too.
But now that I look at it under the light a bit, it looks like there are some metallic particles in it.
Yeah, it's like a black metallic with a really thick layer of clear coat on it. Yes, yes.
Honestly, really quite a large amount.
Yeah, just treated yourself a bit. Plus here the plastic entry where your steering wheel might rattle a bit. So I think Suzuki is on a good path, moving towards full electrification. Today marked the European premiere of the brand new Mazda 6, but this time it's not as a traditional combustion engine like in the past, but purely electric. And yes, that really is quite a fantastic story, isn't it? The fact that the good old Mazda 6 is now being relaunched and will undergo a transformation to become completely electrified is exciting news. Yes, we are naturally hoping that before long we will be able to showcase the Mazda 6 to you in a traditional review, complete with a detailed driving report and in-depth insights. Those who can't wait, there were, for instance, the colleagues from Electric Drive at the Static premiere. Feel free to take a look. We have also created a great video on the brand new Mazda 6e, covering all the details and specifications in depth. If you're interested in that car in a little more detail through a short deep dive, I believe it possesses a modern, sleek and quite futuristic appearance, and I'm genuinely excited and thrilled that Mazda is now fully committed to the shift toward full electrification. That's truly fantastic, and from the outside, this car absolutely looks very sleek and incredibly stylish. I'm really quite curious to discover what data and parameters it has to offer. Wow, I'm genuinely blown away by the remarkable quality that Mazda has put into crafting the interior. We've already shown you in other Mazda vehicles that they have a high-quality material mix. However, in this particular instance, you can truly see remarkably well once again how it's very ingeniously set up and designed in the concept car. You have the bike display, the central infotainment display is also there, an inductive charging pad, plus a slot for a second smartphone, 2 convenient cup holders, and a luxurious blend of leather combined with Alcantara. But in a genuinely robust and truly fabulous bash, right?
Yeah, that looks really fine. It also looks like proper robust leather, especially when you look at the door here.
Exactly, really nicely done. No piano lacquer all. Beautiful materials. Well, I'm genuinely impressed. Perhaps Stefan might have the chance to take a closer look at the back seat with the camera to explore what Mazda is really offering here in the 6e model. Well, my hat's off to Mazda. I'm really looking forward to it if you give us the exciting opportunity to thoroughly showcase and explore this vehicle in detail. Regrettably, we currently find ourselves unable to open up the trunk to take a look inside and see what's there. But I believe Mazda has really arrived in the electric mobility sector now, and the 6e could be a highlight, right?
I think so too.
Also, Ford is showcasing its electric derivatives in Brussels. We are still waiting for the Ford Capri. We've already given you a comprehensive look at the Ford Explorer, which you can find in the corresponding playlist. Additionally, we were there for the premiere of the Ford Puma Generation E. So if you're looking for a small premium electric car, make sure to check out the video about it. This is a really interesting car, and what's also super interesting, we showed you with the Mustang Mach-E GT how you can truly experience semi-autonomous driving without needing to keep your hands on the steering wheel, all thanks to the advanced Blue Cruise system. This is truly a wonderful story, and it clearly shows that Ford is indeed up to date once more. And last but certainly not least, the impressive prototype of the brand new CLA definitely cannot be absent here at the renowned auto show in Brussels. This will, of course, establish new standards at Mercedes-Benz as well, where you will naturally have the option to get either a smaller or a larger battery pack. The larger battery pack is particularly exciting because you can recharge it from 10 to 80% in just 20 minutes. So finally, Mercedes will also be using 800-volt technology. And of course, all of this is paired with a new design featuring the M-Bio XOS, a completely new operating system. And what you can already see here, Stefan, I believe is very, very nice. The Mercedes star integrated into the taillight. Honestly, I'd love to just rip off this foil now, open the car, and show you the interior. But we'll likely have to exercise a bit more patience for a little while longer. I suppose by spring or possibly summer, hopefully, it will be the right time for the new Mercedes CLA to be fully unveiled and then eventually become available to you all. If you would like, it could eventually be parked in the carport or in the garage. Let's proceed on to the conclusion, where we essentially started off at the exhibition. Standing here in front of the EQ580, the electric G-Class, I must say it's indeed an impressive car show, wouldn't you agree?
Really nice.
Quite large, and from what we've learned, this is where the majority of Belgians choose to purchase their new cars. This means you don't just go to the fair to look at cars, but you can also order them for yourself right here, so to speak. So a slightly different principle than, well, with us when you're at a car show in Germany and mainly just looking when considering buying. Yes, really great new vehicles. I thought the Mazda CX-E was a remarkable highlight. Then, of course, the Vitara came along, and the Renaults with both the Twingo and the R4. We genuinely found them very appealing. By the way, the R5 also won the Car of the Year award in the year 2025 and beyond. I believe the expo here provides truly excellent opportunities to gain information about automotive vehicles, particularly for those that are fully electric. Consider the Xpeng P7 Plus a true standout star. Also, don't overlook the BYD Atto 2, especially in the compact class category. So you can clearly see that there's a lot happening in e-mobility, even in the year 2025, and that's why I can thoroughly recommend you check if you're already part of the Drive Electric community. If not, we would be really thrilled if you could support us with your free subscription, and together we can grow alongside you, bringing even more engaging electric car content, so to speak, directly to your home. Into the living room, to the kitchen, into the bedroom, or wherever else you might possibly want it. And with that, we've reached the end of today's video from the auto show in Brussels. I hope that you enjoyed the knife tour. Thanks a lot for watching. And yes, we'll see each other in the next video. Thank you, stay healthy, and see you soon. Yours, Ollie.